The white bream is one of the most common fish that you will catch all around Gibraltar. I think there's quite a big population because it's the location of Gibraltar. It's ideal for really any type of fish, but these fish live all the time on the same location, and obviously here they have a lot of food. There's a lot of rocky areas, sandy areas. You also have currents, and the Mediterranean joins with the Atlantic, and obviously there you do get a big push of currents, and there's quite a lot of abundance of food for the white bream and all the other fish, and obviously they do thrive a lot all around this area of Gibraltar.
Vamos a ver lo que nos encontramos. We haven't got much activity of white bream going on, but the first cast we've managed to see 2 bite marks there. Very small white bream, so hopefully now with a few other bits of cheese they start getting a bit more active.
White bream, it's a fish which is more or less very common all around the Mediterranean. They grow more or less, they pass the kilo mark till about just under the 2 kilos more or less. Normally you find them in rocky areas. They'll also go around the beach, sandy beaches, but they do like a lot of the surf. They like when there's waves and things like that. It's a fish which eats on crustaceans, and obviously it'll just scavenge to see whether there's any other types of food. It's like a silvery fish, quite long and wide. Its characteristics are that it's got 5 black bands and 4 grey vertical bands all along its body. Obviously it's a fish which is very active. They normally go in shoals all together. It likes darker areas, shaded areas. At night it doesn't like the light, it goes on towards a darker area, and you'll see them feeding on the actual wall or the molds, and you can just literally look at them and they'll be there, but as soon as you make any noise or they see you, off they go and you won't catch them. This is the equipment I use for fishing the white bream. We'll start off by looking at the rods I prefer to use, which is a Neox multi-tip by the make Yuki, which is the one I prefer. It's 50 to 300 gram action, and it's only 3 meters long, and it's made in 2 sections. What is very important for this type of fishing is you need a light rod, as you will be all the time with a rod in the hands. And the most important part of fishing the white bream is you need a very flexible and sensitive tip. This can't be very rigid. If the tip is very rigid, you won't notice the bites, and then when fighting the fish, as you have a very thin line, the line could actually break. Whilst if you have a sensitive tip, this will actually help fight the fish, and you can use even thinner lines. Plus, also you will detect better the actual bites, and when the fish is biting, he won't notice too much of a pull behind the line. So it's very important to have a very sensitive tip. Also, a reel, it's a small reel. I use the Shimano Bait Runner 5000 with the Bait Runner with a fighting drag, and Also a very thin line. I use a 0.22 from Yuki make Invisible. That's the one I use. Then also the next thing you'll need is some small sort of LEDs, quite very small, just enough to help the cheese to go down to the bottom before any other different fish bites the cheese. So this will help it gradually go down to the bottom to where we want to target the white bream. Then we'll use also, here everything is in small because it's thin line and we want to try and make the white bream bite. So again, a small swivel as well, quite small in size. We don't want to go very big. Then this will be the line for the hook line. This is one of the best, I would say the best fluorocarbon that there is. It's from Yuki, it's the Neox. It's a very good fluorocarbon, and this is the one I use. And it's a 0.18.5 millimeter, and it holds up to 5.2 kilograms in strength. Then also the hook I prefer to use is the Hokori number 8 from the make Sasame, which is also from Yuki, and that's the one I use. The baits we use here in Gibraltar for the white bream, obviously you can catch white bream with several different baits, but the baits which the white bream go crazy on, it's cheese. The cheese we prefer to use is this one, the Sombrero de Copa. There's different types of cheese, but this one is quite soft, although it's hard but soft at the same time. And when you put the hook onto it, it won't crack like other makes of cheese. The thing about fishing with cheese is very traditional of Gibraltar. I haven't seen it used or practiced any other place in the world. And when we actually go out to fish internationally, when we speak to other fishermen, our friends and all that, we always talk about what type of fishing we do back in our places. And when we actually talk about cheese fishing for white bream, they stay like amazed and they say, "Nah, Trevor, that cannot be true. How can you fish with cheese?" And I say, "Mira, one day hopefully we can film it and we'll show you, because it's incredible. It does work. You use it and you actually catch white bream and one after that, and it's all white bream."
Ahí va. You can actually tell by the teeth that's white bream, but possibly 20 centimeter fish, but definitely white bream. So it's just a matter of keep continuing, and we know that we're gonna catch white breams. Yep, definitely.
Any place you go all around Gibraltar, you will find common white bream. We normally fish them either using a sardine, conch, obviously the cheese, which they love the cheese.
We are not getting any white bream, so I'm gonna get some of my cheese, cut it into smaller pieces and spread it all over this little space I've chosen to fish in between these two fenders. They normally tend to hide underneath the fenders because they feel secure.
Pitito ahí. No sé si de la corriente o porque ya tan sensitive el tip. Este tip basically es para que el sargo no note el engaño. Que sargo es un pescado muy complicado de coger. Pero cuando ya, once you get the point of it, es quick to get, en plan, habiendo sargo, lo vas sacando. Y tú lo ves de picar, boom, boom, te da 2 o 3 picaditas y después te dobla. Y cuando ya te dobla es cuando hay que tirarle.
It is, I would say, there at the top of the list with the cleviest fish, and you've really got to try and make it a bite by good presentation of bait, and also trying to have as the lightest possible tackle in order to catch it. It's quite a clever species.
Ahí va, tírale. Yes. Yo vente para acá porque la va a perder. Ahora sí.
Ahí está ya.
It's a small white bream, but even saying it's small, it still passes the legal mark, which is 22. We'll measure it now. Very well hooked. Hook is off. The legal mark to keep a white bream in Gibraltar is 22 centimeters. You can clearly see that that's well past it. You can keep that, and it's a nice specimen for eating, but obviously this for me is still small. I don't want to keep it, so it's going to be released alive. We'll release it back, and off it goes. Perfect.